Welcome to the Hartford Civic Center for tonight's Big East matchup between Syracuse and Connecticut. This is the beginning of a Big Monday triple header presented by Bud Light. Number 20 Syracuse, number 5 Connecticut, as we begin rivalry week presented by Cisco Systems. Syracuse and Connecticut both with good conference records, but looking up at the Big East leading Pitt Panthers right now. 71st meeting all time. Syracuse with a healthy lead, but Connecticut beat the national champions twice last year, including once in the Big East tournament. Hi, everybody. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale. Welcome to Hartford. Two great teams, close games, a lot of talent, all the makings of a great rivalry game.
Well, you got two unbelievable coaches, too. Two of the heavyweights, two future Hall of Famers, Mr. Boeheim and Mr. Calhoun. Bottom line is for Jim Calhoun, he better be ready for that 2-3 zone. They've had a little problem attacking the zones. They're seeing a lot of zones. They want to play at a quicker tempo. It should be an exciting game. You got two guys that have a great understanding and a special winner's mentality.
First of two regular season meetings between the Orangemen and the Huskies as we check out our Star Watch, and Hakeem Warwick has certainly become that, averaging nearly 20 points per game. Jerry McNamara had no success last year against UConn. He'll need to score a lot for the Orangemen to win here tonight. Meanwhile, Dick, two outstanding talents for UConn.
Well, you talk about a great tandem inside-outside. They don't get much better than Mr. Gordon and Mr. Okafor. Mr. Gordon has got to be a lot more consistent. He can't go 2 for 12 and expect a W here tonight.
Syracuse not deep at the best of times. Short-handed again tonight. For the details, here's Andy Katz.
Thanks, Dan. Point guard Billy Edelin will not play tonight for the second straight game, according to the coaching staff. He missed 3 straight days of practice to deal with a personal issue without telling them first. Had he done that, it might have been a different story. He met with Coach Boeheim after the game Saturday night with his father as well, and he was told he will make the trip to Connecticut, but will not play tonight. Back to you, Dan.
And as you can see, Andy and Dick, he's here in uniform. He warmed up, but boy, is he a loss in the backcourt for Syracuse.
Well, you're missing 14 points a game. You're missing a guy that can rebound at the rate of 4.4, 86 assists to only 34 turnovers.
Ben Gordon tries to get going early, misses the 3. Gordon broke his nose a couple of weeks ago, had surgery. That's why he's wearing that face mask.
They want to play at a faster pace, Connecticut. Teams have been trying to slow it down a little against them, with the exception of North Carolina.
No question Connecticut has an advantage in depth. By the way, Demetrius Nichols will start in place of Edelin as McNamara has a chance for a 4-point play.
He told me earlier tonight, Dan, and speaking to him, he said, I have recovered from that groin injury, had a week off. And that helped him. And now watch this right here. He's got great strength as he releases, takes the contact, knocks it down. He's coming off the game where he had 6 threes that he knocked down against Virginia Tech.
So 6 points in 2 games against Connecticut last year. 4 points in 30 seconds here tonight.
And there's that zone. You must attack the gaps of it. Everybody, I was teasing Jimmy in the locker room tonight. I said, you got everybody now going crazy, worried about a 2-3 zone.
Meanwhile, for Connecticut, you've seen them. I've seen them a bunch this year. They love to run, as everybody knows. They score in transition. But to be honest with you, at times, they have really struggled against zone defenses this year. As you take a look at a very talented starting 5, there's Denham Brown, the sophomore, the much improved player this year, with Connecticut's first bucket of the night.
Well, from out of Canada, can also shoot the 3, better than 45% from 3-point range.
Averaging better than 12 points per game. Sometimes doesn't get a lot of attention because of Okafor and Gordon.
They feel that Syracuse will play a lot quicker than, for example, their last game against Boston College, who took so much time off each possession and really put themselves in a great shape for a possible win.
What a steal. Here's Denham Brown. Loses the handle and then lays it in with a left hand.
And that's what they want to do. Get the turnover, run up the court, get into transition. They like to play very similar to North Carolina. Use the entire floor.
And what a game Connecticut and Carolina had earlier this year. Carolina winning by 3 on a late 3 by Rashad McCants. Connecticut is 17-3. Syracuse is 14-3. Here's Hakeem Warwick, and near the basket, he is money in the bank.
Well, he has become such an effective player on that baseline, has developed as an outstanding inside player, so much so that I picked him on my, right now, mid-season top 10 in America.
He has certainly become one of the best players in the country. This is his junior season. Okafor is fouled inside.
He's got to be able to convert free throws. He was out here real early. Spoke to him in a hotel lobby. What a beautiful kid as you look at Jimmy Boeheim. national championship coach, does so much in the world of charity, coaches versus cancer. We got 2 cancer survivors.
That's right.
For all you people out there, in Jim Calhoun and Jim Boeheim, just a tremendous story.
Emeka Okafor at the line, 52% from the line on the season as he misses the first, and he is aware of the problem, is working on the problem, and he knows if he doesn't fix the problem, then the Connecticut Huskies may have a major problem come March.
Yeah, you don't want to get to a situation where it's hack a shot.
Yep.
What they do there and put him on a line at the end of the game. I think he's going to work on it. He's got great attitude and certainly improve. He's got pretty good technique. He should be at least in the 65th percentile area.
Well, Jim Calhoun and George Blaney, the assistant coach, told us before the game there's no doubt he could easily be a 65-70% free throw shooter.
Good man-to-man defense. Trademark in Connecticut, pressure on the basketball. Jim Calhoun's been doing that for years at Northeastern and here at Connecticut. What a program he has built. He's a Frank Lloyd Wright man. He's an architect, a builder, and he has built this program.
Both of these coaches with more than 660 career wins, and both of them with a national championship. Gordon again misses his second 3. Boone tips it out of bounds. Coach Calhoun told us before the game they'd like Gordon to take 20 shots a game. Want him to be a little bit more selfish. As you look at this Syracuse lineup, again, the freshman Demetrius Nichols steps in for Billy Edel, and Josh Pace moves to the backcourt. They lose something offensively, but they actually get a little bit longer in that 2-3 zone.
But they really miss so much of Billy Edel, and you miss a guy that's a winner who played a valuable part of a national championship.
Warwick knocks it down, and Syracuse 3 for 3 early. Gordon's going to step inside this time. Denham Brown. He's the only guy who has scored so far in this game for Connecticut.
Keep Warwick with that rebound.
McNamara, nice dish off to fourth, but he couldn't handle the pass. Syracuse retains possession.
You know, Warwick got to know certainly Okafor and Ben Gordon, and went to the Pan American trials together. I was going to watch him work a little one-on-one here, show that little 15-foot fadeaway J. That looked like your jump shot, baby.
Except mine only went 12. There's Warwick again using the glass. You know, in Twi-Stick, he has scored over a taller man in Josh Boone.
He is so smooth. He has really made himself a player. That's an example of a young guy taking advantage of staying in school.
Okafor right in the middle of that zone, knocks down the 15-footer.
You know, he's put on big numbers. Came in his first 2 years, a shot blocking dynamo, but now he's become an offensive weapon on the interior. Okafor.
Syracuse leading by 4. The Orangemen, as you can see, still have not missed a shot. Warwick's got 6 points. McNamara has 4. Here's Nichols fading away. Rebound Okafor. He is 3rd in the country in that department.
Nice pass.
And there they are, so dangerous in transition as Denham Brown comes up with his 3rd field goal.
Great look by Talik Brown, reversing the basketball, centering it, transition basketball like a clinic, the way they ran up and down the floor.
And we have a whistle on the floor as we will step aside with our first timeout of the night. What a start to this game. What a way to start a rivalry week here on ESPN. Rivalry week presented by Cisco Systems. Syracuse and UConn are getting it all going. This has definitely become one of the best rivalries in the country. And with his thoughts on that, Syracuse head coach Jim Boeheim.
Well, it's become a big rivalry. Over the years, we had St. John's and Georgetown, and now it's really shifted into Connecticut and Syracuse. Over the last lot of years, we've been banging heads pretty good, and there have been some great games and some great players over the years, and it's been a tremendous battle every year.
I'll tell you one thing, when Dave Gavitt formed this conference back in 1979, when ESPN all started, he had the vision to create this. Just a special guy and a guy that really understood how this would be big. They had so many outstanding coaches, guys like Louis Pointer-Second, John Thompson and company. Now you got these 2 heavyweights, and next year you add the likes of Rick Pitino and Bobby Huggins in 2 years as they come in.
Going to be a bigger and, it would seem, stronger basketball conference. And even in its current state, the Big East is having a very good year. One of the top 2 or 3 leagues in the country this season. Pace is a lefty. The follow by Warwick, and Hakeem Warwick has 8 points already. And as good as he is in so many different ways, he might be at his most dangerous stick on the offensive glass.
Yeah, really attacking the offensive boards. What really disappoints me, though, when I look at his blocked shots, only blocked 12 shots so far this year versus 42 last year.
Talik Brown misses the baseline runner, and back come the Orangemen without Billy Edelin, not playing again tonight, but with an early 4-point lead over UConn. McNamara a miss, rebound Okafor, and look how quickly UConn gets down the floor. Sets up an open three for Gordon.
I'll tell you, Talik Brown made that happen. He created the opportunity, and when Gordon is making shots, and Brown or whether it be Anderson off the bench, his game elevates. That's when Brown becomes a much more efficient point guard.
Pace, and a push is called on Ben Gordon. Let's go back to the transition three.
I tell you, he can really run the ball and has great vision right here as you watch him run the ball up the court. Freeze it right there. Freeze it. Right there, he finds the shooter, and there's Mr. Gordon doing what he does best, shooting 45% from three-point range, averaging about 12.8 shots a game.
Yep.
As you said earlier, they want him to shoot about 20 shots a game.
They want him to take over to feel he's the best player on the floor. Kept in bounds by Pace, who has become a starter, taking over at least the position played by Carmelo Anthony. Big block by Charlie Villanueva.
Villanueva, a guy with a world of potential. He's got to get a little bit more physical. He's had some magical moments as a freshman. As you're going to watch the rotation of Villanueva as he comes over. Played high school with Luau Dang.
Originally was going to go to Illinois. Warwick again with a miss. Rebound Okafor, and again UConn's going to push it.
Over for the first one down the court after the rebound.
Brown the floater. Yes.
Pace of the game right now, Mr. Schulman. The pace of the game is something that Connecticut is going to like. They appreciate the fact of playing at a faster pace.
First lead of the night for UConn.
Al Skinner really slowed it down. Almost sprung a big upset.
The two highest scoring teams in the Big East. Connecticut #1, Syracuse #2.
They're doing a great job denying the ball to McNamara, and that's what I would do. He's their only legitimate perimeter shooter, and Brown has been denying him the basketball.
McNamara's got about 3/4 of the Syracuse threes. Rashad Anderson with a miss. Follow no good by Okafor. To the floor goes Forth, and he gets a timeout call for Syracuse. I'd say we've got a rivalry here tonight, and a big Monday presented by Bundles.
Done with the Cadets.
The Orangemen have gone cold since that great start. Let's see if they can get McNamara open. Uses the high screen there. Misses the shot, but Warwick with a great play to keep the ball in the hands of Syracuse.
Syracuse shooting the ball really a little bit too quickly, not making that extra pass. So far early in the game, Hakeem Warwick has been dynamite.
And you saw Edelin again not playing. A personal problem caused him to miss a few practices, but he didn't notify the team that he was going to be absent. He didn't play on the weekend, and he will not play here tonight. Hakeem Warwick has 10, and Dick, already tonight, Jim Calhoun has used Josh Boone, then he yanked him, brought in Hilton Armstrong. He yanked him, and now he's got Villanueva trying to defend Hakeem Warwick, who's already got 10 points.
Warwick's getting the ball in too deep right now, and he's got that feathery touch around the basket. There he is, and he's got that nice little fadeaway. He didn't make the Pan Am team, and he was upset. And the bottom line is he made Tom Izzo pay as he had a super game against Michigan State. They picked Carl Hayes over him, who we'll see tomorrow night with Kentucky against Florida.
Look at how Warwick's numbers, as you saw, have gone up and up, and he's already got 10 points here tonight. Ben Gordon will check back into the game for Talik Brown, so Gordon will operate as the point guard right now. And again, Gordon recovering from a broken nose. That's why he's got the face mask on.
UConn's had 5 fast break opportunities and has converted 9 points off those fast break opportunities. And Warwick has the last 5 baskets for Syracuse, playing brilliantly. What a great story last year. Carmelo Anthony leading him to the national title.
Jeremy McNeil on the floor right now for Syracuse. McNamara, a contested three, won't go down, and UConn running again.
McNamara, one of my favorite players because he's so tough. He's got such a mindset, loves to win and compete.
Denham Brown, good penetration, misses the 12-footer, rebound Okafor. Villanueva, McNeil commits the foul. McNeil's a good shot blocker, but got a piece of the body right there.
Well, he's not playing up to his potential right now, McNeil. He's lost a little bit in terms of minutes. They did a great job reversing the basketball. I'm going to watch right here. Okafor on the inside. There he is. Nice little pass reversing the basketball.
Another sub coming in for Jim Boeheim, another freshman, Louis McCroskey, who had a couple of big threes in a win over Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. At times, and there are 4 freshmen in this class for Jim Boeheim, at times 2 or 3 of them may not even play in a game, but Jim Boeheim, partially because of Edelin being out, has gone to his younger players more recently than he has at times.
He's got 2 good ones coming in next year as well. Kid named Wright, who's at Oak Hill Academy, 6'6", comes from out of Syracuse, and Josh Wright from out of the Utica area, 6'1" guard, highly rated.
Dick McNamara on the bench. Edelin not playing tonight. Pace is the point guard. This is a challenge right now for Syracuse.
It really is. And one of their real problems in talking to Jimmy Boeheim has been consistency shooting the perimeter shot. You know what I get a kick out of? We were talking to Jim Calhoun, and I thought he said it best. He said, you know, people question us when they talk about the fact that you look at Mr. Boeheim, 28 years at Syracuse, he bleeds Syracuse orange. But more than that, what a beautiful guy. Anybody gets to know him knows he's got a heart of gold, wants to help people. But you know, Jim Calhoun told us, he said, hey, we're 17-3, and it never seems to satisfy anybody.
Preseason #1, they lost early to Georgia Tech. They got back to #1 again, but right now are #5. But everybody's losing games. Everybody's getting knocked around in the rankings this year.
They went to a zone defense in that possession, which will force Syracuse to shoot some perimeter shots, and they really are a liability from the exterior.
Timeout called by Ben Gordon to keep possession for the Huskies, who have a 3-point lead over Syracuse. 11:49 to go first half as we celebrate our 25 seasons of college basketball. Let's flash back into the archives. This is Syracuse and UConn. We're going way back into the 1980s right now, right here in this building. Here is Alvin Frederick with a baseline jumper to tie the game at 69. Then Syracuse freshman Ronnie Cycli with a chance to salt it away, couldn't get it to go. So the heroics are left up to Earl Kelly, who won it for Connecticut with his jumper, 71-69.
They've had so many classic matchups. I'm going to lay on you. I know you wanted to hear it. You asked me earlier my best 5 at Syracuse in the Jimmy Boeheim era. Pearl, without a doubt, Mr. Washington, Sherman Douglas, Billy Owens, and then you certainly got to talk about Carmelo Anthony as well, and you got to talk about Mr. Coleman, a Windex man, a glass eater, and that leaves off a lot of great players.
You know you've had a pretty good run when guys like John Wallace and Lawrence Moten aren't on the team.
I'll tell you one thing, the best ever to wear a Syracuse uniform from the Motor City, my friends. Detroit Piston fame, Mr. David Bing, a former teammate of Mr. Boeheim. What a backcourt they were. Boeheim threw the ball in bounds and got out of the way.
Ben Gordon going to the line right now for Connecticut.
You know, my best 5 for Connecticut in the Jim Calhoun, and he's had 18 unbelievable years, and there's been so many great players. I go with Okafor in the middle. My backcourt, I go with Hamilton, and I go with Raymond Allen. I go up front with Danielle Marshall and Clifford Robinson. And then you throw in guys like Elamine and Chris Smith and Tate George.
Karan Butler.
Kevin Owley, Karan Butler. Only there for 2 years.
Second foul on Terrence Roberts as Gordon knocks it down and sends us to a timeout. UConn down early, but now up by 5. Well, here we are on Big Monday presented by Bud Light. Tomorrow night it's Super Tuesday as Rivalry Week presented by Cisco Systems continues with the Gators and the Cats trying to bounce back from weekend losses.
I'll tell you one thing, Rowdy Reptiles will be in rare form. One of the great environments down here in Gainesville, Florida. Kentucky and Florida coming off, as you said, those tough losses. Florida to Tennessee, Kentucky to Vanderbilt.
You saw the run by UConn. They were down early, but now up by 5. And McNamara is back in the game for Syracuse as Jeremy McNeil lays it in.
McNeil hanging around the basket inside. Good low post player. There's that zone. Zone doesn't seem to really bother him right now. They're getting into gaps. They got some good shooters on the wings. But the #1 way to beat that zone, especially a team like Connecticut, is in transition.
Okafor back into the game for UConn. Gordon throws it away. Nice steal by Terrence Roberts. The first turnover committed by Connecticut tonight. McCroskey long on the 3. And no, it's not Warwick over the back. It's the ball over the back of the backboard to turn it over to UConn.
McCroskey, as you look at Jim Boeheim, really believes he's got a heck of a future. Comes out of New York City, played at St. Raymond's, same school that produced a guy by the name of Julius Hodge, who had a monster game yesterday against the Terps of Maryland on the road.
Gordon at the point right now for Connecticut with Talik Brown on the bench. Along with Okafor, Villanueva. There's Rashad Anderson. Nice dunk down to Okafor.
Tremendous job in attacking the gaps of the zone. Form a little triangle. Use the high post guy. Execute really well as you're going to watch the ball go to the high post. Freeze it right there. Oh, man, you bring it right into there, and there's that triangle. Bring it down inside. Excellent play, and Okafor could finish it off, and now he's got to convert on that free throw line. They get a little triangle. Then you try to overload. You want 3 against 2.
Third foul on Roberts, so he's going to come out. At the next opportunity, Okafor at the line.
Roberts came from a great high school program, St. Anthony's, one of the all-time great high school coaches, does wonders there. Bob Hurley, the father of Bob Hurley Jr., who is a definition of what a point guard's supposed to be.
Josh Pace takes the place of Roberts for Syracuse. Connecticut has stretched the lead out to 6.
A lot of pressure right now on McNamara. He's not only got to be the scorer from the perimeter, he's got to handle the basketball as well.
Dick McNamara and Warwick have 14 of Syracuse's 16 points.
That's not going to shock us, though. This guy's like unstoppable if he gets the ball in deep.
Now it's Warwick who will go to the line. 6'8", only 210 pounds. Okafor is the 4th different defender that Jim Calhoun has used on him tonight.
And I tell you, he loves the challenge right there. Warwick was in really rare form before the game, very confident in his ability. Look at those numbers. I'll be confident too. You know, I mean, look at those numbers, how he's really improved as a player.
67% from the line on the season. First foul on Okafor.
You know, my top 10, if I gave my midseason report and gave an A out, these 10 guys would get A's, man. First team would be Nelson Jackson, Ryan Gomes, Okafor, and Andre Emmett. And then my next group would be Duhan, Devin Harris, Francisco Garcia, Hakeem Warwick, and Ike Diago. Like those 10?
I'm really glad you have Ryan Gomes on the first team. This is an outstanding player who had an extraordinary game in an upset win over UConn just about 10 days ago. It's about time Ryan Gomes starts getting a lot of national attention.
He plays like, oh, look at him. Can't bring that inside, but they got some shot blockers in that lane. Gomes had 26 in the win over Connecticut.
You know, UConn leads the country in blocks. It's not all Okafor. Villanueva and Boone get their share as well.
Villanueva, with a year under his belt, could become a superstar next season. He's just got to get stronger physically.
Here's Pace, not a shooter. Loves that little runner, though, as he gets into the lane, and he throws up what looks like a weird shot or a missed shot, but it goes in. Villanueva misses the 3, and it's Syracuse ball. The Orangemen getting right back into this.
You know, you win national championships when you have players like Pace who are role players and understand how to play. Look at the little nice pass he just made right there.
Rebound Warwick, his 5th of the game to go with a dozen points already.
He's got those long arms, that excellent wingspan.
Steal by Gordon.
Goodbye. Up and away. Jam City from out of Mount Vernon would have produced so many great players. The McRae brothers who went out to Louisville. Earl Tatum who played at Marquette. You can think of all the supers that have come out of here. The Williams brothers. You don't remember them, Ray Williams and Gus Williams, man.
All I remember is you can't turn it over against UConn or you wind up taking it out of the basket at the other end.
Mount Vernon's a great place for high school basketball.
Warwick trying to back down Okafor, the best shot blocker in the country, and he got him, his 3rd of the game.
What a challenge. He said, try it again. Try it again. Here he goes again. Second time, he said, in your face, Mr. Okafor.
These are 2. We know Okafor's an All-American. Warwick is not far off. This guy is getting better and better by the week.
Yeah, he really is. He's become a star.
Tie up, and the ball is going to go back over to Syracuse.
You know, last year, whenever they got in trouble, they had Carmelo to bail them out. But here goes Hakeem. He said, hey, I'm going to tell you, there's the piece blocked, and he has the guts to come right back at him. Second time, he says, okay, I'm going to get another one. Here it goes. This time, I'm going to fade away. See, he's got that fade-away J, and it's so tough to block.
Meanwhile, the turnover winds up an easy deuce to the other end, Dick.
There goes Ben Gordon, high riser, explosive. He's got to get a little bit, not tougher as Jim Calhoun said, but he's just got to get a little more of a mean streak in him, Ben Gordon.
Josh Boone back into the game for Connecticut. Ball out of bounds will stay with Syracuse as we step aside. Connecticut leading by 2. When we come back, a closer look at Dickie V's All-American team. I think the big guy from UConn might be mentioned.
believe you got to pick up by basic position and have guys that can play as a team and a unit, and they can.
Now, player of the year, two-horse race between Jameer Nelson and Emeka Okafor. Look at Warwick. Holy cow.
I'll tell you one thing. Warwick is so much better than I anticipated. I mean, this guy is absolutely got a great first step, excellent touch. He has become a superstar. I may have to change my... See, this is midseason. Postseason is what counts.
Okafor knocks one down. UConn by 2. Hakeem Warwick, though, is the big early story in this game. He has 16 points already for Syracuse.
And they've tried everybody in the world trying to guard him. Now they got Mr. Boone going to take a chance and see what he can do with him.
Boone was the guy who was guarding him early, and Warwick got 3 quick buckets on him. Good D there by Boone. UConn on the run.
You know, Boone gives him a lot of energy. The guy that gives him some rebounding.
Rashad Anderson.
He's been shooting the ball really well, Anderson, lately.
42 points in his last 2 games, but it's out of bounds to the Orangemen. You know, one thing about a Jim Boeheim team, and especially this group, having won the national championship, Edelin is out. They're shorthanded. They're on the road in a tough environment. They're not going to back down. This is not a group that scares.
Oh, wow. You got a bunch of guys out there that are wearing championship rings.
Yep.
Not many people can say they won a national championship ring.
Pace handling the ball, trying to get McNamara free off some screens. Here he goes. What a feed.
What a great look by McNamara. You got to convert that.
Now McNamara for 3. Way off.
He hurried it. He really hurried the shot. He was struggling a little bit earlier this year. Had the groin injury. Had a week off. Came back strong. He'll bounce back.
Yeah.
They love him in Scranton.
They can boo him all he wants here. It's not going to get into his head. He's as tough as they come.
Sitting in that 2-3 zone. It's been so documented, so long and lean. They try to play passing lanes.
Okafor, the 10-footer.
He has really become an offensive weapon. He was a non-offensive weapon his first 2 years. Hey, we got to tease Mike Montgomery. He wanted to go to Stanford, but they had no scholarships.
Jim Calhoun told us that story today. Okafor was very raw, mechanical offensively, 40 pounds lighter than he is now his senior year in high school, but what a player he's developed into. Now 2 Orangemen players collide. It's 5-on-3.
He can shoot it, the Rainbow J, Mr. Gordon. He's had some subpar games, like against Georgia Tech. He struggled against Rice, Oklahoma, Georgetown, but he's had some major games. If he wants to be talked about in the class of Richard Hamilton and Raymond Allen, he has to add consistency and be a star every night.
Gordon with 10 first-half points to lead Connecticut. That collision between the 2 Syracuse players gave him a 2-man advantage, Dick, going down to the other end.
Well, he doesn't need any help. Mr. Gordon just goes right to the 3-point line. And then Mr. Okafor with the good hands, the great catch, the turnaround Jay. He should be a much better free throw shooter with his touch.
Hey, this is just the first game of the matchup at Villanova. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's going to be one heck of a game. A lot of emotion there. Hey, transition game. Jimmy Stamos does a great job. Our stat guy shows me 14-0. Connecticut over Syracuse in the running game.
Warwick a miss. Bodies on the floor again.
Oh,
Connecticut as dangerous in transition as any team in the country. That would have been another transition 3 right there. Boone, meanwhile, is hurt behind the play for Connecticut, just now getting back into it. But Villanueva is going to take his place.
Hey, the top 3 running games in America, Arizona, North Carolina, and Connecticut.
Agreed.
Those 3 can really run up and down the court. North Carolina's got to do a better job defensively. I mean, they got to shut down the threes. Clemson made 11 for 13. Roy Williams will get it done, though. He's a Hall of Famer.
Denham Brown hot early, misses the turnaround, and the foul is going against Okafor, who does not like Jim Burr's call at all. For Okafor, it's his second, and Dick, this shot blocker, the best in the country, he's only fouled out once. He's only gotten to 4 fouls on 2 other occasions. He is not used to having to go to the bench with foul trouble, but he's going to the bench right now.
Well, he's an excellent shot blocker, and that timing is so important for shot blockers. He holds his ground. He doesn't go with fakes. Gets a little push there. The pace of the game, the tempo we talked about is vital in this game. Connecticut wants a faster pace. They have to like the pace right here versus what they've been facing recently.
Well, Syracuse might get 5 minutes now without Okafor in the game. This is a time to make a run. Pace trying to slither inside. He is fouled before the shot, and it'll be on Hilton Armstrong, I believe. Now Jim Calhoun having a conversation with Jim Burr about the Okafor foul at the other end of the floor.
He said, wait a minute, don't you understand Mr. Okafor is a superstar? Don't you understand he's a cover guy?
Give him some respect.
Yeah, you got to put him on the floor. These people here pay a lot of money in Hartford to come and see him play, not to be an assistant coach.
Well, Warwick might go to work here, Dick, without a shot blocker in the game.
Stepped on a line.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Stepped on that baseline, tried to attack the basket. He has become a special player, and there is a special coach. I'm telling you, he's closing in numbers now. In fact, both Jims are. We're getting close to Hall of Fame status.
Definitely.
Those are the numbers they're putting up.
Again, each with better than 660 wins, each with a national championship.
And that doesn't hurt now.
No.
Got that gold trophy.
And the utmost respect for one another as well.
And the Big East, to me, doesn't get the kind of respect nationally that it deserves lately. I thought last year they should have more than 4 teams.
McNamara got caught in the air. Denham Brown. Ben Gordon. And Brown is held by Pace.
Pace with the grab. Brown in good offensive rebound position. You know, Dan, I just mentioned about respect. Last year, I thought Boston College and Seton Hall should have been in the tournament. Louis Orr beat his buddy, beat his coach. Jim Boeheim doing a great job with Seton Hall, with Andre Barrett and company.
Seton Hall won at Providence over the weekend, too. That's a major win for them because Providence is having a great season.
A major victory for Louis Orr and his kids down there at Seton Hall University.
Right now, you look at this league with Connecticut and Syracuse, obviously Pittsburgh, Seton Hall and Providence. Notre Dame's not having the kind of season that they were expected to have so far.
Well, you know, the Irish are sitting about 10-7, and they got games at Boston College. They play Pittsburgh and Connecticut after that. Seton Hall at Syracuse at Connecticut.
Ouch.
Providence, ouch.
Ouch.
Oh, does that hurt? Oh, my Brady, you got your work cut out for an NCAA bid this year.
Denham Brown, and now with 8. Every time McNamara touches the ball, he hears the chant of air ball. As you can see, the run that UConn is on right now to break the tie. Again, Okafor on the bench for Connecticut with 2 fouls. Here's Matt Gorman getting a rare chance to play. Sophomore forward for the Orangemen. Jim Boeheim's gone, by his standards, very deep into the bench already here tonight.
They're really putting a lot of pressure on McNamara, really attacking him, not giving him any open looks.
Nichols hits the 3.
That's big. They need somebody else to step up on the perimeter, make some open shots from the wings.
Just 22% on the season. Nichols knocks it down. Villanueva, baseline, no. Great job underneath by Armstrong to get the rebound and draw the foul.
See, the one great asset they have right now in Connecticut, they got very competitive practices because guys want playing time. That's the only way you're going to get on the floor. You're going to earn it in practice. That's what happened with Anderson.
Yep.
Earlier this year, he wasn't getting playing time. His dad was upset about it, called the coach. They put the speakerphone on. They talked about it. And he said, Dad, I got to play harder in practice. He did, and he's getting a lot more minutes now.
And they got a guy sitting out as a transfer, Ed Nelson from Georgia Tech, who's going to come into the program next year. He's an outstanding player.
2 great recruits coming in, A.J. Price and Rudy Gay, who's going to be a really outstanding players here. But they got this program rolling. This is one of the great programs in America now.
Got to hit free throws, though. Syracuse is a bad free throw shooting team, but they're good by comparison to Connecticut. Nichols again, feeling it right now.
Well, you know, he's coming off that nice start that he had in that game against Virginia Tech when he had 12 points and 8 rebounds, stepping into the starting lineup. Well, last year they played without Edelin for 12 games to start the season. They were 11-1, but a lot of those were cupcakes.
Yes, now it's conference play.
Different
and again, Edelin missed some practices because of personal problems, did not alert the team that he was going to be away. This is the second game that he's missed. Don't know when he'll be back. Denham Brown now with 10. Did we mention he's from Toronto?
Yeah, we said he's a Canadian. We took care of you. Took care of you.
Much improved player, though, you got to admit.
Yes, sir. Your beautiful wife's trying to get out of Toronto to join us in Gainesville.
McNamara won't stay down. Fork tries to follow. Ripped free, but a Syracuse foul as they just surrounded Armstrong.
What a crew we have here tonight when you talk about certainly Jimmy Burr, Timmy Higgins, Curtis Shaw. As McNamara now going to spin down the lane. Doesn't get any open looks here tonight. There he is with the floater in the lane. That baby's in. That baby's supposed to be down.
Hilton Armstrong will go back to the line. So far tonight, Connecticut has done the job from the line. 9 for 12, but on the season, they're under 60%.
Yeah, I know that's really going to be an area to really focus on, especially when you get to the tournament. Hey, since 1990, you ready for this? UConn and Jim Calhoun have won 26 NCAA games. Prior to his arrival, they won a total of 4 NCAA games. He's had 9 Sweet 16s, 5 Elite 8s. He's got the gold trophy, the national title in '99 when they beat Duke for that national title with Ricky Moore, Elamine and company, Richard Hamilton.
Jake Voskuhl, a big part of that team.
Yeah, playing in the NBA now.
Big night last night for the Phoenix Suns. Nichols may be feeling it a little bit too much right now as he finally misses a shot after a couple of makes. Brown off to Villanueva and the foul.
Villanueva could be a star, Dan. He's got things you cannot teach. He's inside, outside. He can run the court. Made a smart decision when he took his name out of the NBA draft and really picked a program where they're going to work like crazy to develop him, and he will become a special player if he just listens to Jim Calhoun and his staff. Great assistant in George Blaney. George Blaney, a head coach for years. Such an asset to have, a guy like Blaney sitting next to you.
Villanueva knocks him down, so Connecticut, even with Okafor on the bench, a 9-point lead here at home.
Wow. Great, this is great, man. And the only loss was to Kentucky, alternate possession. That thing's not there. They're 19-7. They're 19. What a year they're having now to start there.
You're not in favor of alternate possession.
Oh, I can't stand it. I hate it. I've seen it hurt so many teams.
Hey, with a timeout here as we celebrate our 25 seasons of college basketball, it's time to flash back into the ESPN archives.
This has Final Four feel to it. Number 3 against number 6 and 2 shining stars.
38.1 seconds left. Georgetown leads by 1. Allen with Iverson on him, throws one up. And
Unbelievable!
Georgetown can win if they score. Iverson fades, missed it. Williams rebound. He missed it as well. UConn survived.
Look at the celebration!
Do you remember?
Oh, do I remember? Iverson and Raymond Allen, are you kidding me? Getting paid to sit at courtside for that? Hey, who has more hair? We took a bet one time. I think I have more hair than he does.
I know who had more hair Saturday night.
Yeah, you did. There's no doubt about it.
Hey, as Dave Revson mentioned, and I got to believe that that moment's going to be high on the list, over the next few weeks, ESPN will unveil the top 25 college basketball moments that aired on our family of networks over the last 25 years. You'll see number 25 tonight at halftime of this game, and at every 7 o'clock game during the week, and then on every Saturday noon game at halftime. They'll keep counting down till we get to number 1 a few weeks from now.
McCloskey with a nice drive to the goal from out of New York City. You know what's a big stat right now? Connecticut's made 12 free throws, and Syracuse has only attempted 3.
Wow.
That's a major number.
And with Okafor again out for several minutes, you got to believe Syracuse is going to start going to the basket, right?
Well, McCloskey attacked the goal right there. Now they're going to go inside.
Gorman misses the turnaround. Rebound Villanueva. Here they go on the run again. And Talik Brown will go to the line now for UConn.
Talik Brown came out of New York City as a high school star, and it was a threesome at that time. Andre Barrett and Omar Cook, the 3 of them were rated so high. Barrett doing a fantastic job for Seton Hall. I don't know till this day why Omar Cook listened to the wrong people when he could have been a superstar right now on a collegiate level.
Talik Brown bricks the free throw. He's had trouble in that department on the season, just like Okafor has. Warwick is back into the game. 16 points. Brown in the last 13 games has really taken it up a notch in the assist to turnover department. Not a big scorer, not a good shooter. Everybody knows that, but he runs the team.
Yeah, he really does. He knows how to get the ball. He's a distributor in basketball.
Foul on Armstrong over the back.
And you're not going to win in college basketball without strength at that point guard slot. That's why when you look at Jim Boeheim, how important Billy Edelin is. Larry Conley, who's sort of very familiar with them, had that game with Tennessee and Florida. Florida's got to do it on the defensive end. As you look at these numbers here, they were showing some improvement. What a turnaround. They blew out. They blew out Tennessee by 38 and then lost on the road.
Missed free throw by Warwick. Here comes Gordon.
The Raven wanted a high lob. He wanted a high lob, but they didn't see him.
Connecticut has not lost anything off their lead in the last 4 minutes since Okafor went to the bench with 2 fouls.
It was 7 when it went out. It's 7 right now.
Tie up, and it'll be UConn ball.
The zone really not bothering UConn. They're getting shots. As you look at Mr. Okafor sitting on that sideline with Coach Moore, Coach Blaney and company, they would rather have him on the floor than an assistant coach. What a great kid, too. Talked to him in a hotel lobby. Just a beautiful young guy. He's going to graduate on time.
Great student.
He is, you know, I put him in the category with the David Robinsons, the Tim Duncans as people. We don't know if he'll become that kind of player, but as people.
Denham Brown for three.
He can shoot it. And I noticed a little touch in your voice when you said, yeah. I mean, you Canadians.
You got to take care of your own, John Saunders, right? 13 for Brown and the biggest lead of the game for UConn.
Jerry McNamara really being played tough.
Hey, I know this. If there was a Sarasota kid with 13 points, I'd be hearing about it here tonight.
No doubt about it. You're going to hear about it anyway if you can't play. Take a look right here. There's the kick out. You drive, you draw, you dish it to a guy that can shoot it. And Denham Brown, a better than 45% three-point shooter.
He's already surpassed his average with 13 tonight. Came in at about 12.5.
Boy, look at the numbers, though, what achieved during the Jim Calhoun era. It's amazing when you think about what he's done. In fact, these two programs are the winningest programs the last 15 years in the Big East. Connecticut with 369 wins, Syracuse with 350.
And now Connecticut's going to use a little clock. We got about a 3-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock, so UConn's going to let it run down.
Syracuse certainly a different club. When you lose a key player from your starting lineup who averages 14 points a game and doesn't turn the ball over, that's a major loss. Look at the crowd here. They love it. They appreciate their Huskies. They're wild about their Huskies in Connecticut.
Gordon in traffic, and Tim Higgins calls it a tie-up. So with 6.5 seconds to go, Syracuse will get it back.
You know, you think about the women's program here as well. One of the great stories of all of college basketball, Diana Taurasi, a special, special talent. Maybe the best ever to play women's basketball.
Hey, this state loves its hoops. Two great programs here in Connecticut. Boy, look at them bodying up on McNamara. Where's the call? Where's the bump? Where's the foul, Dickie V?
Well, you know, right here, I got blocked out by the camera crew here in front of me. But Jimmy Boeheim can't believe it either. He's very upset. Come on now, they bumped him out of bounds.
Well, three very good officials agreed there was no foul. Gordon. And Jim Boeheim is out on the floor talking to Curtis Shaw about the lack of a call. Denham Brown with a big first half for Connecticut, 13 points, and despite foul trouble for Okafor, it is a nice lead, 10-point lead for UConn at the break. Back to the studio, let's join Dave Revson.
Okay, Dan, thank you very much. Here's the Bank One halftime report. Dave Revson and Digger Phelps with you. UConn by 10 at the break, Digger.
I just like the way UConn's playing physical tonight. Even though they beat Pittsburgh at home, they didn't play physical. Pittsburgh did it to them. Providence did it to them, and they beat them. But when UConn plays physical, they're as good as any team in the country, and they're showing that in the first half.
Huskies also making it.
2 of UConn's 16 fast break points here tonight. A lot of interested observers from the next level here in the arena.
They came to see my jump shot. Did they come to see my jump shot? Look at all those NBA people. Rudy Tomjanovich, John Jackson.
Bernie Bickerstaff.
Yes,
23 NBA scouts are here to watch Okafor and Warwick and Villanueva and everybody else. What about Syracuse and McNamara? What a tough job he had without his partner Edelin in the backcourt with him.
They didn't come to watch us.
They didn't.
But
We're
anyway,
past our prime.
I can tell you this right now. McNamara certainly misses Edelin because Edelin's the kind of guy that gets him free. I know he had a big game against Virginia Tech, but this is a different level right here playing against Connecticut. And right now, Warwick certainly kept them in the basketball game to respectability. Denham Brown had a big game in the first half, or a big first half. He only had a total of 11 points his last 2 games. He's got 13 already.
Time now for our Cisco Systems game track. And it begins with fast break points that we were talking about. You turn it over against UConn and you're done.
Well, look at the advantage here, 16-0. And what they're talking about there is also making free throws, getting fouled in transition. And there's Mr. Brown showing the long-range J, having a great game. Hakeem Warwick inside, showing why he's an All-American choice. This guy has become a superstar.
Warwick with 16, but he's about all the offense for Syracuse at times. McNamara had 4 points in the first 30 seconds of the game and did not score the rest of the first half.
Well, he missed his next 6 shots because he had so much pressure on him.
Villanueva getting a start here in the second half. He travels. He's out there in place of Josh Boone. Time now for the Mazda halftime stats. UConn out shooting Syracuse and getting it done at the line. And again, the biggest difference in this game, the fast break points, the transition game of the Connecticut Huskies.
You know, Connecticut misses a guy like Josh Boone who was out with the shoulder injury, and you're bringing a talent like Villanueva who had a big first half, 6 points. McNamara with a little curl move as you look at Josh Boone on the sideline, getting some ice on that shoulder. Nice little curl move by McNamara. What a great story, winning that national title last year, beating Kansas, marching on. In fact, they dominated the Big 12.
Yep, and they beat 4 Big 12 teams in the tournament last year. Of course, Anthony was a freshman, McNamara was a freshman, Edelin was a redshirt freshman. But despite all that inexperience, that's what they won.
That's Bernie Fine's ring, their
that's a
fine
beauty.
assistant coach, who I could never understand why has not gotten an opportunity to be a major college head coach.
Now, Bernie gave it to you to get the picture taken. Did you give it back?
I gave it back, and I hated to. I would love to wear that ring. They're going to be so proud in Syracuse.
Connecticut leading by 8. Nice feed inside, and Okafor is fouled by Nichols.
Nice unselfish play by Villanueva, dumping the ball to the interior to Okafor. See, that's the one great strength of both these coaches, getting players to understand their roles. I got a phone call today from Pat Williams, who's doing a book on Coach Wooden. And when we talked, he wanted to know what made him so special. And I think what made him special, obviously, you got to have great talent, but he got that talent to understand how to be unselfish and to play as a unit. And that's what these guys do so well, Calhoun's and the Boeheim.
Well, they have very different personalities, but they both get their message across to their players.
Different styles of play. Doesn't matter. There's all kinds of people in this world, man. You got, you know, all kinds of people. You got shy people like myself, extroverted people like you.
How you ever communicated to your players is beyond me, being as shy as you were. I'd love to get some old footage of you as a coach. McNamara, tough leaner. Another rebound for Okafor. And give the big guy the credit for the outlet pass. He starts the transitional line.
Did a great job with that outlet pass.
I smell a dunk.
You were almost right.
Pace. What a wingspan on Hakeem Warren. Baseline jumper is good for Nichols.
I'll tell you, Nichols has stepped up, not 2 big jumpers here tonight. That's one of the real problems with Syracuse, finding perimeter shooters.
A 3 for Nichols. He's got 8. And again, he's the guy getting the minutes with Edelin not playing tonight.
Nice pass.
Villanueva and 1.
Great look inside. Villanueva hanging around the box inside, got right into the open gap of that zone. They banged it right to the inside. There it is, that diagonal look. See, he split the 2 defensive players. A post guy 4th and a wing player.
The foul on 4th, his first.
He's 7 for 7 on the line, Mr. Villanueva. What a combination. Luau Dang playing for Duke and Villanueva on the same high school team last year.
Villanueva 65% on the year, but as Dick mentioned, a perfect tonight. Another miss by McNamara. Denham Brown leads the Huskies back up the floor.
Nice kick out.
Turned it over on the travel. Let's go back a couple of possessions to when Warwick attempted to defy gravity.
Wow, look at that wingspan. Look at that wingspan. 747, baby, hit the back. Everything else has been falling. Fadeaway jumpers, and the dunk doesn't go.
They track his dunks in their media notes. Pete Moore does a great job. He's got 48 dunks this season.
And he's McNamara not getting any open looks, but those are tough shots.
Okafor goes to the floor hard with Warwick, and Jim Burr's got a foul on Hakeem Warwick.
You know, right now we talk a lot about that 2-3 zone and its slides, but the bottom line is Connecticut's man-to-man defense has been very effective here tonight. They've done an amazing, tough job on Mr. McNamara.
First foul on Warwick, not much doubt about it when you saw the replay. And Connecticut with the ball and a 10-point lead.
Hey, how good is Pittsburgh, my friends?
Yep.
J.B. Dixon's got to be a diaper dandy of the year.
Brown, the rebound. Gordon kicks it out. Talik Brown. Villanueva, no. Partially blocked. Okafor is strong enough to get it down.
Okafor hanging around the basket. They jump with joy. the Stores Connecticut faithful. I told Jimmy if I was coaching, man, I wouldn't worry about making the cash and bring him to Hartford. I'd keep this team at the Gamble Pavilion. I wouldn't let everybody come on down there and try and play them.
Nichols the foul, his third. Too close to call between Okafor and Jameer Nelson for Player of the Year, or do you give one guy the edge?
Right now, you've got to give the edge to Jameer Nelson. He's been a little stronger all year long, but he's coming on big time. Okafor. Remember, at the beginning of the year, he had back spasm, had a little slow start, had that game against Georgia Tech when they were blown out.
Okafor tonight, 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks.
He is coming on strong. He's had some great games offensively recently.
Here's Pace, loves to penetrate. Again, throws up that one-handed shot, won't go down. Loose ball to Talik Brown.
He's got a trailer, Villanueva. He's got a trailer. He's got a trailer. Yes, my friends, this is one of my Final Four teams, the Huskies of Connecticut. You asked me to pick a Final Four. I got Connecticut penciled in. On a neutral, they're going to be very tough to beat.
Warwick gets Villanueva in the air and draws the foul. Now let's talk and look again at this unbelievable transition game UConn has.
Now take a look at transition. There's the angle. Great angle cut. They work on that all the time. It's a thing of beauty. Just like North Carolina when they run their fast break. May to Felton to McCants. Roy Williams, a great teacher.
But to see a guy as big as Villanueva get down the floor that quickly, how many players in America can do that?
Let me tell you this, Dan. He is going to be a special player. Not just another player. He is going to be a special player. As you look at the rest of the team here versus Hakeem.
He is carrying them on his back right now, but even with what he's doing, it's not nearly enough. 13-point lead UConn.
Well, you're not going to beat this Connecticut team with 2 guys putting points on the board. You got to have some help, and unfortunately, one of the guys that could be helping him is sitting on the sideline, Billy Edelman. I don't want to make him out to be Dave Bing, but he is certainly a valuable player for this basketball team.
Ford sets a screen, trying to free up Pace. He's a lefty. Will they give him continuation? No, they won't.
No, he got fouled prior to releasing the shot. You know, I talked about my Final Four, and we mentioned the other night. Right now, I certainly love the defense of Duke, and they're going to have a tough game with North Carolina. We can't wait for that. Start of an unbelievable rivalry between Coach K and Roy Williams. And then I love Stanford. They're balanced.
You've got Stanford, Arizona on ABC Saturday afternoon.
You know, Stanford showed so much heart coming back from 19 down in the second half against Oregon on the road. And playing without one of their stars, Justin Davis. And then I love Gonzaga, the Zags. You heard me telling Mr. Boeheim and also Mr. Calhoun how much I love him.
Nichols picks up the foul, his 4th. When Jeremy McNeil came in, Nichols went to the bench. He figured he was going to come out, but Jim Boeheim's unhappy with 4th, so 4th sits down, and now Coach Boeheim gets Terrence Roberts up. He'll come in for Nichols, who's got 4 fouls. He's actually given them a lift offensively today.
Well, those freshmen are going to be very good eventually when you talk McCloskey and company and Nichols and Roberts.
Kept alive by Okafor. Another opportunity for UConn.
So you got to flash right to the open seam in that zone. Okafor's got to flash, find the opening right in the 3-second area. Slide into that open area.
Okafor the turnaround.
Nice job of breaking the zone, getting in deep, moving the basketball, reversing it.
16 for Okafor. Warwick, nice feed to McNeil.
Hakeem Warwick, I am absolutely amazed at the way his game has elevated just from last year. He just keeps getting better and better and better.
And assuming he hangs around, he's got one more year to improve even more. How about that?
The star.
Van Gordon with a dozen.
He's a star. He's one of the premier perimeter players in college basketball. He's just got to do it on a regular basis.
Averaging better than 17 points per game.
I mentioned Pittsburgh earlier. They manhandled Syracuse at Syracuse.
They held them to 45 points, the lowest total for a Syracuse team under Jim Boeheim. That Pittsburgh team may have lost Knight and Zavascus and Lett, but they are still deep and tough and talented.
Fouls are doing a great job at that point guard slot, stepping in for Knight, giving him some scoring. And I'll tell you this, Chris Taft may be one of the better freshmen in America, doing a phenomenal job, and they're so physical. Jim told me, Boeheim, he said, I can't emphasize enough how physical and how tough those kids are.
You're looking at the new top 25 just announced a couple of hours ago. Connecticut is now number 5. Syracuse, as you can see, number 20, as Pace misses the second, and back come the Huskies up by 14.
Really playing well tonight. They like the pace, the tempo we talked about earlier.
Rashad Anderson misses the 3. Talik Brown with a rebound.
You know, Anderson a little quiet here tonight from out of Lakeland, Florida, home of the Detroit Tigers training camp. Almost went to Florida. The Gators really wanted him. Had 42 points in his last 2 games.
Gordon left open on the wing. Back comes Pace.
Got to stop the basketball. See how quickly they find McNamara? They get right up in his face. Great coaching.
Pace with a turnaround, no. Villanueva, strong rebound.
I like Villanueva. I'm telling you, he's a great young player.
Okafor from Talik Brown.
Okafor with the catch. I'll tell you one thing, he's no 6'10". He's about 6'9", but he plays a lot bigger with that shot blocking ability. He's one of my all-human races on a collegiate level. Tough shot.
McNamara, not there for him tonight. It's almost as if UConn saying, Warwick, you get yours. We're going to shut down McNamara.
They're right up in his face.
Anderson.
Last year, you know, they beat him in double digits twice. In fact, they were the last team to beat him before they went on a run and won the national title.
That look just about says it all if you're a fan of the Orangemen here tonight. UConn with their largest lead of the night. When we come back, a sneak peek at Dickie V's Player of the Year candidates.
Look at Huskies, how they attack the famed 2-3 zone. Look at the ball movement right here. Freeze it right here. See, right here. He's going to draw 2 here, and they're going to lock him to the post. They're going to get him in deep. They got the good angle right there. Once the ball gets in there, he's got plenty of room to operate. They came out strong on the shooter, Anderson on the wing, who came in the game shooting exceptionally well. And then Okafor in a little one-on-one maneuver. They created a one-on-one opportunity against the zone with ball reversal and good 45-degree angle to enter the basketball.
Anderson for 3. Too easy on the inbounds play.
I'll tell you, they are really playing well. You got Gordon playing very aggressively tonight. You got Villanueva off the bench, has been a star. You got Okafor dominating like an All-American with his 14 double-double.
And you got Syracuse without Billy Edelin. McNamara is 1 for 12. Jim Boeheim's got a couple of freshmen on the floor right now, and this game is turning into a mismatch. Gordon for 3.
Look at Villanueva. Wow, I thought he had contact right there. Long and lean.
Count the bucket. The steal by Talik Brown. And the goaltend by McNeil.
Talik Brown, one of New York City's finest in high school. Part of a threesome. Look at the anticipation. Great play. I tell you, they're all celebrating right now in New England as you see the score with the winning of that Super Bowl last night.
What a finish. Great
game. Tom Brady the winner. They're going to have a lot more to cheer about in this town, in this area as well with this basketball team.
Warren. You know, Jerry McNamara, in his 3 games in his career against UConn, is 3 for 28. He's just 1 for 12 in this game here tonight, having to work hard for every shot.
And he's such an unbelievably competitive player and a winner.
Got a foul on McCroskey. Well, we told you about it. We're going to look at Dick Vitale's candidates for Player of the Year. Emeka Okafor is on everybody's list. This is a short list. These are the top 3 candidates?
Yeah, you know, I think so. When you look at Emmett's having a great year. You could throw in names like Garcia certainly as well from out of Louisville. But the bottom line is, I think it's a 2-man race. I think it's Nelson and Okafor. It's Nelson's right now. It's in his hands unless he would have folded somehow down the stretch. I really think he's got a great chance, but Okafor coming on strong.
How much does it matter if St. Joe's finishes the regular season undefeated?
Oh, I think that doesn't hurt, my friend, any shape or form. But they got a tough day tonight at Villanova. Hey, this Big East, I'm telling you, doesn't get the respect. Last year, 4 teams. They should get 6 teams this year, at least out of this conference. You
saw the score. If you're sitting at home on the bottom line right there, St. Joseph's leading Villanova 21-8 early.
Wow, nice play.
And a foul by McNeil over the back of Okafor. It's all UConn right now.
They're really exceptionally quick in transition and playing so well together. Really are focused here today. Had that tough game with Boston College. You talk about an underrated player, Craig Smith down here. And you know, Al Skinner's done a heck of a job as the win over North Carolina State because that team lost so much from last year. Jim Boeheim very control. You know, I love about Jim. He gives so much. He and his wife, Julie, very active with the Coaches versus Cancer. They have a big gala event. Tony Kornheiser, our own Tony, is going to be the MC for that big event, raising thousands and thousands of dollars to battle cancer.
Jim Boeheim still seeking an explanation from Jim Burr about something. He's got bigger problems tonight. His team down 21. This is the beginning of a rivalry week presented by Cisco Systems on a big Monday presented by Bud Light. This is a great rivalry, but it's a bit of a rout right now. UConn's playing as well as they have at any point this season.
Well, you know, it's awesome, baby, for the UConn. Look at these guys, relaxed there, taking life easy. Hey, you know, Jimmy Boeheim, when you think about it, he has won more games other than you got Mr. K with 60 wins in the tournament, Bobby Knight with 42, and Olsen with 42, then followed by Boeheim with 38. He's also produced some guys that have become pretty good coaches. Guys like Wayne Morgan now at Iowa State, Louis Orr at Seton Hall, Timmy Welsh at Providence, Ralph Willard at Holy Cross, and then a guy by the name of Mr. Pitino.
I was waiting for that.
Rick Pitino. Had a nice conversation with Rick today, you and I, when we were at breakfast.
And he's back with the team now and hoping to deal with the pain that he's been going through, stay with the team through the end of the season, feeling, and rightly so, that Louisville team's got a chance to have a very special year.
Well, you know, the good news is they haven't found anything that he looks like he's going to be okay, but the bottom line is he's still got some pain.
Look at this. Look at this.
It's up and away. No stopping them. They don't have enough firepower or offense right now. Syracuse, you know, 11 minutes on the game. You could say, well, they can come back. We saw a 24-point turnaround versus North Carolina. We've seen turnarounds like the 19-point deficit, Stanford coming back. But you look at Syracuse, where are they going to get offense?
Yeah. There are two good scorers on the floor, Warwick and McNamara. McNamara's having a rough night. There he knocks one down. His first make since the first minute of the game.
You know, he's able to square his body on that shot. He got a good look, move without the ball. Tonight he's got to be able to pound the ball into the floor so often. There's nobody else to handle.
McCroskey from the baseline. Warwick with the offensive rebound. McNamara had it blocked by Talik Brown.
I thought he got fouled there.
You're not the only one. Jim Boeheim agrees with you. But no call. And we have reached the under 12 media timeout. The lead still 21 for Connecticut. How this team was put together when we come back. Got to Connecticut to say Connecticut was a national power would have been a laughable statement. They certainly are that now, and they recruit on a national scale. Despite Connecticut being the third smallest state in the union, they get players from all over the place, all over the country, and in certain cases even outside the United States. How has Jim Calhoun been able to put this program together like this?
Well, you know, number one, they got a little help from a network called ESPN with all that national exposure and the chance that kids can see themselves play so often. I don't think that hurts at all, that kind of visibility and that exposure. And he has been a Frank Lloyd Wright. He's been an architect who has built this program from really, it was a program that was struggling. It's incredible what he has done. There's certain coaches out there that have had taken programs and taken them to the top. Look at the Hall of Famer John Chaney, how he built the program at Temple. Bobby Cremins, Georgia Tech. Do you see that name up there, St. John's? Cremins, a New York City guy. Do you see that name? Mike Montgomery at Stanford did a great job building that program. And Lute Olson, amazing what he did at Arizona, what he's done and what he's still doing.
You're just going to stick your nose right in there on every...
Well, look at Bobby Cremins. The job is open. He's a New York City guy. All Hallows knows the city inside out. Rashad Anderson broke the hearts of Billy Donovan when he said no to University of Florida. We'll go down to tomorrow. I can't wait to see the Rowdy Reptiles. Kentucky, Florida. You know it's going to be intense. It's going to be emotional.
Yeah, major game for both. They both lost tough games over the weekend. And whenever Kentucky goes anywhere, that's the biggest game on the other team's schedule in the SEC.
Oh, everybody plays at another level when they see that Kentucky uniform. SEC so tough year in, year out.
Daryl Watkins into the game now for Syracuse. That's him trying to run down the ball.
He's out of Patterson Catholic High School. High school has produced a lot of good players, including Tim Thomas, who went to Villanova. That's bad play right there.
Watkins knocks it away, but back into the hands of the Huskies.
Huskies in total command in this game. Transition ability, defensive ability, scouting report, getting McNamara. They've dominated Syracuse, beat them twice last year, double digits.
Once in the Big East tournament, once in the regular season. Nice little fake by Villanueva. And the foul is committed by Roberts. Well, Dick talked about the great game tomorrow. There are a couple of days in Kentucky taking on Anthony Roberson and the Florida Gators.
You know, you look at Illinois and Indiana, that's a big game, not only for Big Ten situation, but you talk about for NCAAs, because the bottom line is when you look at the Big Ten, a lot of those teams don't have quality wins out of league. I know Purdue has the win certainly over Duke, but when you look out there, certainly Michigan State went 0-6. Yep. Take a look at Michigan losing to Boston University, even Purdue losing to SMU and Colorado State.
Well, Michigan State with a big win over Indiana Saturday night, so the Hoosiers will be looking to bounce back against the Illini tomorrow.
And that's at Assembly Hall where they really get the fans into it big time.
Watkins misses the jumper from the elbow. Here comes Villanueva, doing a little bit too much that time.
Yeah, should give the ball up and go without it with his speed.
And now some of the UConn guys are late getting back, and they paid the price.
Mr. Warwick running the court.
Jim Calhoun hollering at Charlie Villanueva, use your head, give the ball to a little guy.
Yeah, go without it, get it back, and he could have done what Mr. Warwick just did. They sit in that zone, he's getting a gap, trying to get to the little, see that? Get right to the box inside. I was going to say, get right to the box inside. You're like overloaded down there on that back guy, 2 against 1. One of the concepts in attacking zones, you like to overload. You like to be able to get in gaps. You like to be able to get in seams. You like to be able to beat it in transition. You need ball movement. And then you need Okafers, and you need Gordons. You don't need Schulmans, and you don't need Vitals.
Yeah. The ball movement's the easy part. It's getting the Okafers and the Gordons. That's the tough part.
You don't need Howie Schwab, my right-hand lieutenant, who's in the house tonight. So great to see him. See, there's the little overload inside, 2-on-1.
22 for Okafor. Villanueva made a mistake 2 trips down, but boy, did he make up for it with that pass. He's got some unbelievable ability.
He's got great talent. He has got skills. He's got size. He's got to get stronger.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel. They've lost 3 games this year. I mean, everybody's losing some. Well, just about everybody's losing some games, but Connecticut's lost 3 games. But when they play at their best, I don't know that there's a better team in the country than Connecticut.
Well, I definitely feel on a neutral. That's why I have them in my top.
Something's wrong with Okafor. After the block shot, Okafor is off the court of play underneath the basket. May have gotten poked in the eye, and a foul is called. And Emeka Okafor took a shot in the face. He suffered a hairline fracture of his nose in the Rutgers game back at the beginning of January. And whatever it was, he took a shot right here, and he is feeling it. Got the left hand of Watkins as he tried to go up.
Yeah, the left hand caught him in the face. Seems like he's shaking it off. You know, you mentioned Rutgers there. They're getting some nice wins right now. Gary Waters, and they got a freshman that doesn't get any publicity. Quincy Doobie doing a heck of a job. Got to get Doobies and Curtis Stinson. Can't just talk about the things all the time.
Doobie just named the Rookie of the Week in the Big East. Averaged better than 19 points per game in the past week.
Let me ask you this. You look at the Big East right now. I thought last year, as I said, Boston College and Seton Hall should have been in. I think Seton Hall is going to get in this year and certainly deserves to be in. And I think you're going to see 6 teams come out of this conference.
Well, right now, if you were to draw the line, and it's so early, there's so many games to go, but if you're to draw the line in this conference, and in my opinion right now, you got 5. You got Pittsburgh, Connecticut, Syracuse, Seton Hall, and Providence. I think somebody else is going to have to make a move to join that group.
Well, Boston College, Villanova, Rutgers, one of those teams where Notre Dame can get hot and earn themselves a berth. Mike Bray's a heck of a coach, so they can get hot. Nice play. There it is. Little 2-man game. Go right down the gut. Make one guy in the middle have to play 2. But they got the guy that can finish in Okafor. They're putting a clinic on here tonight. They are putting a clinic tonight.
They're beating a very good team handily here tonight. Warwick passes up the jumper. McCroskey won't. Misses the 3.
See, I think Syracuse is a good team, but they're a very good team when you add Edelin into the lineup.
Yes.
I think right now they're just a good basketball team. They need this young guy. 14 points a game. He's got to get everything in order in his personal life, and the bottom line is he has got to be on that floor for this club and do what he does best. Play basketball, be a student, and be an athlete.
Emeka Okafor, 24 points, 10 rebounds, and it is all UConn. Civic Center. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale with you. Big Monday presented by Bud Light. Danny Ainge getting on the phone and telling his bosses, you know what, this Okafor is pretty good.
No, he might be making phone calls looking for a coach. Come on, Danny. What did happen with my guy Jim O'Brien? It was doing a great job. They couldn't get along. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, Digger was probably having a pretty good night till he saw Danny Ainge here in the house. What he did to the Irish back then. 26-point lead for Connecticut. Hard to believe now as you look back at it, Dick, that they were actually trailing 5 or 6 minutes into the game.
I'll tell you, they did a phenomenal job here tonight thus far defensively.
Yep.
They knew what the options were. Warwick certainly has had a big night, but they have shut down McNamara.
22 points for Warwick. Syracuse was shooting just 18% in the second half before that turnaround jumper.
You know, when you look at conferences, we talk about NCAA bids. Things run in cycles. The Big Ten will be back strong as ever again. Good recruiting classes coming in next year. Certainly Indiana's got the #1 class. Nice ball movement.
Gordon got McNamara in the air. Pulls up for the three. Armstrong swatted away by Watkins.
They must have some great days in practice, Connecticut.
McCroskey. And he takes a bump. And draws the foul. College basketball, ESPN and ESPN2.
Oh, Ron Franklin's going to be in rare form, getting ready for Kansas and Missouri. That's always special. Ron's going to have those vocal cords really, really ready to roll big time tonight.
The tip in the Missouri-Kansas game will be at 10 minutes past the top of the hour, so you will not miss any of the action from Lawrence tonight. Missouri just 9-8 on the season with all the talent that they have.
They've really struggled. They got to get on a roll. There'll be no NCAA bid. They got to really get hot somehow. What a year in the Big 12 for Eddie Sutton in Oklahoma State and Bobby Knight. Two veteran coaches.
A week from tonight, they're home to Kansas in a monumental game in the Big 12.
Hey, you and I are going to be in Stillwater. I can't wait to get down to Stillwater.
Been a while, huh?
Oh, I haven't been there in lots of years. Go see Eddie Sutton. Took 4 teams to the NCAA tournament.
You want to talk about a guy living a dream. Here's Dickie V's week. Monday night, Syracuse, UConn. Tuesday night, Kentucky, Florida. Thursday night, Duke, Carolina. Saturday afternoon, Arizona, Stanford. Monday night, Kansas, Oklahoma State. It's good to be the king, isn't it?
Wow, I don't know about the king, but I can tell you this. It's good to have some fun doing something you love and getting paid. I only wish that everybody out there could make a living doing something they love. I only wish also I had a lot more years, man.
I thought you were going to say hair.
Oh, here, forget about hair. I want years. I wish I was 25 again instead of 64 years old. I can't believe it. You know what? I'll match it. Some guy said to me today, he said, where do you get that energy? I'll match my energy with any 25-year-old.
I agree. I tried to start a fight with Howie Schwab in the elevator today. You may be half my age, Howie, but I'll take you out.
Howie's quite a guy. I tell you, he's my research expert. Provides me all my little data.
Ben Gordon nearing a triple-double for UConn in this game. That ball was clearly tipped by Gordon, but Jim Burr didn't see it. I guess none of the officials saw it. That ball was knocked out of bounds.
Jimmy Boeheim years ago, you wouldn't see that smile. Wow. That's what a national championship and a wife like Julie does.
Not necessarily. Is that the right order you should put them in, or is it the other way around?
Here's the other way around.
McCroskey has it blocked. Warwick with the easy slam. He's got 24.
Keith Warwick still playing as hard as can be.
Look at them run the floor, though, as Okafor gets down to the basket, and he'll go back to the line.
You're going to get your first taste Thursday night of a rivalry when you see Duke and North Carolina hook it up at the museum.
Can't wait.
The Dean Smith, the Dean Dome, as you watch a Warwick, the trail guy with the jam. You talk about emotion. You talk about excitement. I know there's the Yankees and Red Sox, and the Red Sox are improved. You know, on paper right now, the Red Sox are probably better than the Yankees. On paper. But come September, come and see me.
Now, see, you're right here in Hartford. You're right on the border between Red Sox fans and Yankee fans. I mean, you got to play your cards right here.
Well, you know, they got Schilling now. They made some great acquisitions. Certainly got a heck of a pitching staff with Pedro as well. But when it's all said and done, come September, the pinstripes will find a way.
Wow. You still harken back. You're still a Yankee fan.
Well,
deep
I grew
down,
up
right?
there. I used to go to bed at night and dream as a little kid. I put my baseball glove in bed with me, and I used to dream of playing for the Yankees.
Villanueva with a miss. A man for all season. I just found out yesterday, Dickie V used to coach football to junior high students. How about that?
Put him on my record.
Undefeated, right? Warwick off the foot of pace, out of bounds. There's a Yankee fan here, rooting on his Huskies, seeing himself up on the big screen. What a long, rough night for Syracuse without Billy Edelin. Again, if you missed it off the top of the show, this is the second consecutive game he has not played. Missed several practices for personal reasons without contacting the team and alerting them to the fact that he needed a little time away. So as a result, for the second game in a row, he's not playing. He is traveling. He was in warm-ups through the layup line, but Jim Boeheim is sitting him out again here tonight, and only Jim Boeheim, I guess, knows when Billy Edelin will be activated again.
Yeah, it's Jim's decision. My feeling is you're going to see him back in the lineup next week. I really believe that he's going to get on and get things together.
Dick, he got hit again. Okafor got hit in the nose for the second time tonight.
Understand his responsibilities, and I just see the attack. There's the dump inside. As Andy Katz said, as you see the contact on the nose earlier, you know, at least had he gone to the coaches and shared with them that he was going to miss practice, I think there would have been a different scenario. Free throw line is certainly an area that this young man we've documented has to really improve.
No, Danny Ainge has seen enough.
He said he's seen enough right now. Look at Danny, he saw the curved ball and he said, you know what, I'm going to that round leather ball, baby. Great athlete, though. Can play Major League Baseball as well as basketball. BYU superstar.
There's a Sox fan. Yeah, we've evened up that rivalry as well. Little Red Sox, little Yankees here in the house in Hartford.
You watch Baltimore and Toronto, and my Devil Rays have really improved.
Season ticket holder Dickie Villas down in St. Petersburg.
Still playing a tough man-to-man defense, Connecticut.
Okafor from behind gets called for the foul. Number 4, Emeka Okafor.
I tell you, look at Pittsburgh, and it really amazed me how good they are. I didn't realize when you look at Jamie Dixon, it's so good to see guys get an opportunity like Matt Painter in Southern Illinois, Jamie Dixon getting a chance as Okafor goes to the sideline. A superstar and a guy that's got his priorities in order, comes from a great family, understands the importance of being a kid, about academics as well.
Now, the first time you've seen him in person this year, give me your impression of his on-the-court play tonight.
Oh, just outstanding. I mean, he can run the court, he blocks shots, plays within the framework of the team offensive and defensive system.
25 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks for Emeka Okafor tonight. He leads the country in blocks. He's third in rebounding, and he's gone from being a virtual non-factor offensively as a freshman to one of the top scorers in the Big East.
Yeah, really, when you look at this whole club, they all blend so well together. Expectations so high. They've spoiled people up here because they win so often. Offensive rebound.
Jalen Brown.
I didn't know they could jump like that in Canada. I didn't know they could jump like that. Our partner here from Toronto, as is Country John. You know Country John?
Yes, John Saunders. Mark Jones as well, another ESPN basketball announcer.
John Saunders started out, he was a country guy playing country music out in Toronto.
Yeah. Big night for Denham Brown and Emeka Okafor and Ben Gordon and all the Huskies in a lopsided game here in Hartford.
It's been blowout city, man. The second half, Syracuse struggling shooting the ball. Well, you know, when you look at Connecticut field goal percentage defensively, they rank in the top 5 in America. Nice play. Nice pass. Great look by Villanueva. Oh, my friends, this kid can be a star. He has unbelievable star potential. Hoops Weiss, Dick Weiss, who wrote my book, told me, he said Villanueva could be as good as he wants to be.
And correct me if I'm wrong, as Warwick scores, if Roy Williams doesn't go to Carolina and Bill Self doesn't go to Kansas, then Charlie Villanueva probably goes to Illinois as he originally intended, right? Instead of coming to Connecticut.
No doubt about it, and Mr. Davis would have to be worried about Villanueva tomorrow night.
Denham Brown.
Nice look.
Armstrong, 2 more for the Huskies.
I like how unselfish they play. They look for the open man. Tough night here for Syracuse. Absolutely a tough night for the defending national champs.
27 baskets, Dick, for UConn, 20 of them on assists. Great unselfishness by the Huskies. Look at the rebounding by Villanueva.
Long arms. They got another date with Syracuse up at the Carrier Dome. They'll have over 30,000 for there. Those fans really get after it up there in Syracuse.
Closed the regular season up there. Syracuse at 31,000 for the Pittsburgh game.
That's the game that scored 45. Wow.
Syracuse still has a date at Pittsburgh. Connecticut still has a date at Pittsburgh. So some huge games still to come in the Big East.
That's going to be a big game. Connecticut at Pittsburgh.
A week from Sunday on ABC.
They got the Oakland Zoo down there, and they call it. Those fans really get after it down at Pittsburgh.
Is this going to be the worst loss ever for Syracuse in this rivalry? Rivalry week presented by Cisco Systems, off to a one-sided start. Connecticut taking advantage of the Edel unless Syracuse Orangemen leading by 20.
You got the Big 12 matchup going on, and certainly that's going to be a heck of a matchup right there. But I just got word, and I don't know all the facts, but I hope, please tell me it's not true. There's a word out that there's a big meeting going on now between Robert Montgomery Knight, the athletic director, and the administration, that he got into a shouting match with the chancellor at a salad bar. Oh, please help.
At a salad bar?
You got to understand who your boss is, man. I know one thing. I'm getting in those shouting matches with George Bodenheimer or Mark Shapiro. With you, I'll get into one. But I know my bosses. I mean, you can't. I don't know all the facts, but I heard
we'll find out more.
There's a meeting supposedly going on right now in Lubbock over the incident that took place. Don't know all the facts as we're sitting here.
Jim Calhoun emptying his bench right now. Ryan Swaller, a senior from Milford, Connecticut, comes into the game. Jason Beisch, a junior from Southbury, Connecticut, into the game as Denham Brown goes out. Charlie Villanueva goes out. You sure don't expect walk-ons to get minutes in a Syracuse, Connecticut game, but that's what's happened here tonight.
I know one guy that's got to be happy tonight. D-Rowe, former coach here, beautiful guy, had just recently faced major surgery. They don't get any better than D-Rowe. I'm telling you, if you met him, you just got to love him. He's just a beautiful man, and we wish him nothing but the best in his recovery. He's just a great, great guy and a super basketball mind. Jimmy Valvano told me he learned so much, and so did Freddie Barakat when they worked for him as assistants.
Ryan Swaller is fouled as he goes to the floor, so he's going to get a chance to pick up some points here at the line.
I mean, did Swaller think today that he would get in this game? You know, when he gets older, he tells his grandchildren, I was on the line in a Syracuse game with Connecticut. It was televised on ESPN. Dan Schumann called my name. I went to the line. The score was tied. Jim Calhoun put me in a game. I was on there towing that line. I was incredibly nervous with 1:18, and I missed him.
Missed him both. He does have 4 points this year, both field goals, so missed a chance to pad his stats, as it were. Pace throws up a prayer. Watkins, nice rebound.
Watkins is going to be a good player. They like his future, his potential.
Renil Herron into the game now for Syracuse, one of their walk-ons, and the ball back over to UConn as we move into the final minute here in Hartford. All UConn in what looks like it's going to be the most lopsided game in the history of this rivalry. This is the 71st meeting. The most that Syracuse has ever lost by to UConn is 21 points.
Jim Calhoun had his kids ready. They were really prepared. The quick pace of the game played into their hands. They were absolutely prepared defensively. They shut down McNamara. They were mentally ready. They needed a big game psychologically, and they got one here tonight.
And UConn will go to 18-3 on the season. In league play, the Connecticut Huskies will go to 6-1 and tie Pittsburgh for top spot in the Big East. A dejected Jerry McNamara, and Syracuse will fall to 14-4, 4-3 in the league. So 2 full games, Dick, back at Pittsburgh and UConn.
Exactly. And you look at UConn defensively, I mentioned earlier, 36.6% teams are shooting against them, and that's the presence of Okafor. Mr. Calhoun, 6 straight years with 20-plus wins. Will make it 7 this year. 13 years with 20-plus wins at Connecticut. He's led to Connecticut to the NCAA tournament 11 times.
Justin Ivanovic, a senior from Ann Arbor, the latest player to come into the game for the Huskies.
Had 5 Big East tournament championships as well. Jim in 1990, 96, 98, 99, and 2002.
Coming up tonight, Missouri and Kansas just a few minutes away here on ESPN. Cup bent, and then what should be a monster game a week from Sunday at Pittsburgh on ABC. And again, don't forget, not shown here, but at the end of the season, they've still got to go to Villanova. They play Seton Hall, a very good team, and they close the regular season at the Carrier Dome against these very same Orangemen. And there's a point for Justin Ivanovic.
I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Brady would like to see that schedule down in South Bend, Indiana, twice in the 5 games. They got dates with Connecticut.
Look at him knocking him down. Ivanovic buries the free throws.
Look at a smile on his face. He'll be big man on campus tomorrow. He'll say, move over, Okafor, move over, Taurasi. I'm going to be the star.
Let's let Andy Katz interview him after the game.
Yeah.
Andrew Cowie in the game now for Syracuse. Roberts still working hard. Won't go down. Watkins misses the follow.
It's great to see these kids get some PG.
Yep, you're right.
Get some playing time. They practice. They really bust their gut every day. It's been all Connecticut tonight. Husky fever, baby, at its best. They were really prepared, offensively, defensively. They shut him down. Mr. Calhoun gets the W tonight over his buddy, Jimmy Boeheim. And they're both winners. Both are survivors in a battle against cancer.
Yep.
Giving everybody out there a chance who's battling that disease that can go on with your life. Look at these two guys, great role models in that respect.
As you saw, the most lopsided loss that Syracuse has ever had to Connecticut, 84-56. Emeka Okafor, 25 points, 11 rebounds. Ben Gordon, 13 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists as Connecticut dominates the Orangemen tonight despite a great effort from Hakeem Warwick. Andy Katz standing by with some of the stars from tonight's game. Emeka Okafor is with Andy.
Emeka, you guys struggled against Providence zone. BC zoned you guys a little bit. How were you able to handle Syracuse's zone tonight?
It just came down to us, coming down and focusing on practice. We just drilled until we got it right. Coach gave us our pep talk, the captain's talk, and we came out and executed.
You got knocked, it looked like either in the nose or the eye. How you feeling?
No, both. I'm feeling all right.
You can see out of both eyes?
Yeah, now.
Now, after the Oklahoma game, you guys had not played that well since then against a quality team. What was the difference between Oklahoma and now tonight?
That's just us getting back in our groove, us getting our confidence, and us, just believing in ourselves and coming out and getting things done.
How much does it help this team for Charlie Villanueva to play this well?
And we got solid results. When Charlie plays, we can't go wrong.
Thanks. Congratulations on another double-double.
I appreciate it.
Dan?
All right, Andy, thank you very much. Another impressive performance by Emeka Okafor and all of his friends here tonight as the Huskies dominate the Orangemen and beat them 84-56. Don't forget, coming up next here tonight, Missouri and Kansas on ESPN. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Dick Vitale, I'm Dan Schulman. Thanks for watching. More basketball still coming tonight on ESPN.